There's a particular kind of woman who enters a space and immediately you can tell she's not performing. She's not overdoing it, she's not holding back, she's simply landed in exactly the right place. And that easy authority, that magnetic stillness, that's Jennifer Aniston. At 57, she might be the most effortlessly elegant woman in Hollywood. And what strikes me, she's operated with the exact same approach for over 3 decades. While the rest of the industry cycles through every passing wave, Aniston anchors her look to a small collection of timeless staples she understands completely. She has her t-shirts tailored, she returns to her favorites without a second thought, and she turns jeans and a white top into the most sophisticated outfit in any room. Today, I'm walking through 5 of her most impactful style principles, and number 5 is the one that honestly reshaped how I approach getting dressed every single day. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Parker Holloway, and today we're diving into a woman who has quietly been delivering a lesson in timeless elegance for decades, Jennifer Aniston. Everything she does looks effortless, but there's genuine thought behind every decision, and I have a feeling you're going to love what we find. So let's jump right in. Number 1, anchor your wardrobe in neutrals and refuse to feel bad about it. This is the bedrock of everything Jennifer Aniston builds her style on. If you scroll through images of her spanning 30 years, from those early Friends seasons all the way to today, you'll spot something striking. Her color range has stayed almost identical: black, white, cream, camel, olive, gray. That's it. That's her whole palette. And the natural reaction is to think, well, that must get dull. But here's where it gets interesting. When you lock into a neutral foundation, every piece you own starts working with everything else. It all speaks the same language. And what that unlocks is the space to zero in on fit, on texture, on silhouette, the details that truly elevate an outfit. So many women end up with wardrobes overflowing with color that never quite works together. Aniston goes the other direction. She limits her range and raises her standard. And because of that, she always appears polished, whether she's arriving at a premiere or grabbing coffee on a weekday. There's something genuinely lovely about that self-knowledge. It's not monotonous, it's understanding precisely who you are. And if you're wondering how to begin, notice which neutral shades bring warmth to your complexion. For Aniston, those are warmer tones, camel and cream playing off that sun-kissed skin. For you, it could be cool grays or gentle ivories. Start there. Number 2, put real investment into flawless basics and treat them as though they were couture. This is the detail that caught me off guard most when I began looking into Jennifer's method. She has openly said in interviews that she gets her t-shirts tailored. Sit with that for a moment. Here is a woman worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and she's bringing her plain white tees to a tailor to perfect the way they fall. And what I find compelling is it reveals her entire way of thinking. It was never about the label. It's about how a garment lives on your frame. Most women invest in statement pieces and then reach for whichever basic top happens to be closest. For her, the basics are the star. A flawlessly cut white tee, a gorgeous ribbed tank, a sharp button-down, these are her cornerstones, and she gives each one the attention it deserves. Because it does. The takeaway is deceptively simple, yet remarkably powerful. The items you put on most often are the ones that warrant your greatest care. And hold on for number 5, because this concept of elevating everyday pieces with uncommon intention is the thread running through her entire philosophy, and it arrives at something I believe could truly shift how you see yourself. Now, number 3, discover your defining silhouette and commit to it fully. For Jennifer Aniston, that silhouette is denim. This woman is the uncontested ruler of jeans. She stuck with bootcut through their years of being unfashionable. She leaned into straight leg when the cycle brought them back. She's lately been spotted in cigarette cuts and wide leg styles. But what's telling? She's never running after whatever cut is dominating feeds that week. She understands which lines flatter her frame, and she moves between them based on what feels authentic, not whatever an algorithm decided was next. Most of us watch something take off and think, maybe I should try that. Aniston watches the same thing and asks, does that actually serve me? Does it align with how I want to feel when I step outside? And when it doesn't, she just walks right past it. I find that remarkably empowering. If denim isn't your thing, that's perfectly fine. Perhaps your go-to is an elegant wide-leg trouser or a midi skirt that makes you feel entirely like yourself. The lesson isn't about mimicking Jennifer's exact pics. It's about identifying the cut that helps you stand a little taller and returning to it with confidence. Now, everything I've walked through so far, most women could arrive at those conclusions given enough time. But lessons 4 and 5 operate on a different level. These are the insights it took Jennifer decades to refine. And honestly, number 5 is the one that stays with me. Number 4. Wear your favorites on repeat without shame and let go of the belief that you always need something new. This is the insight that fundamentally reframed something in me, and I believe it's the most valuable thing Jennifer Aniston offers about style. She puts on the same pieces again and again. The same white tee, the same cut of jeans, the same understated black blazer, the same gold hoops, and not once has she come across as dull. She reliably appears on best-dressed roundups year after year in what is essentially an unchanged wardrobe. And that flies in the face of everything we've absorbed. We've been conditioned to believe that style requires novelty, that looking good means constantly refreshing, constantly purchasing, constantly keeping pace. And most of us carry this low-grade shame when we show up in the same combination twice in 1 week. But consider Aniston. She's living evidence that the most powerful style move is discovering what suits you and leaning into it wholeheartedly. She's called herself a jeans and flip-flops and tank top kind of girl, and she owns it without the slightest hesitation. There's something profoundly self-assured about a woman who declares, this is who I am, this is what I put on, and I'm not looking for anyone's approval. And for women past 50 especially, this might be the most freeing concept of all. You've spent decades learning what brings you confidence. You've earned the right to stop reaching and simply settle into the version of yourself that resonates most deeply. That doesn't mean closing the door on anything new. It means refusing to let novelty become the measure of whether you're getting it right. And truthfully, the most stylish women I know aren't the ones with overflowing wardrobes. They're the ones who reach for exactly the right thing every morning without a flicker of uncertainty. And number 5, let your style speak to how you feel about yourself, not how you feel about your age. This is where every thread comes together, and I really want this to land. Jennifer Aniston, at 57, presents as a woman entirely comfortable being who she is, not because she's attempting to look 30, not because she's chasing some unattainable ideal, but because she approaches getting dressed each morning with a steady self-regard that says, I matter, this day matters, and I deserve to feel wonderful walking through that door. And that presence, that's what people notice. That's what makes her the best-dressed woman in any room. It's not the garments, it's the connection she has with herself that the garments reflect. And I think too many of us lose sight of that along the way. We begin dressing to conceal rather than to communicate. We start telling ourselves that style belongs to younger women or slimmer women or wealthier women, and none of that is true. Aniston has never tried to become someone she's not. She hasn't overhauled her image every few years to stay relevant. She's simply kept refining, kept editing, kept showing up in pieces that feel genuinely hers. And that steadiness, that's the real lesson. It's not about the denim or the tee or the perfectly placed tuck. It's about the woman wearing them deciding she's worth the effort. And you are. Every last one of you, whether you're heading to an art opening or walking into the grocery store on the Saturday morning, you deserve to feel like the most confident version of yourself. That woman who steps into any space and quietly stops you in your tracks without a single bold piece or designer logo. She's not wearing more than you. She simply understands what serves her, and she's made peace with keeping things uncomplicated. So here's the question. What if you offered yourself that same freedom starting tomorrow? And on the subject of women who've perfected the art of arriving with understated poise, next week I'm exploring someone who has elevated the personal uniform to a whole new level. And honestly, I think she might catch you off guard even more than Jennifer did today. All right, everyone, that wraps up Jennifer Aniston's 5 timeless style principles. I hope this was useful and maybe even a little motivating. If it resonated, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. I'd love to hear from you. What's that one go-to piece in your wardrobe you always come back to? The one that instantly makes you feel most like you? Tell me in the comments because I'm truly curious. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, and as always, I appreciate every one of you for being here. And I'll catch you all in the next one.